All right, we have a very, very special health segment for you today here on San Diego 6 in the morning. May is Melanoma Awareness Month, and of course we talk a lot about skin cancer here in sun-kissed San Diego. But I think you're going to recognize the national spokespersons for melanoma awareness. Our own Congressman Brian Bilbray and his daughter Briana are here this morning. Brian, I've run into you down at the beach. I can't tell you how many times you're out there surfing. I'm jogging up and down La Jolla shores. Were you wearing sunscreen?
Well, I like to think so, at least on my lip, which I had actually had to have cut off a few months ago. So not as much as you should. Obviously, always a problem. But just now it's becoming fashionable for surfers to start wearing hats, mostly us old guys.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, and that's where it typically shows up is a little bit later in life. But Briana, you're how old?
I'm 25.
You're 25 years old, and you were diagnosed with melanoma when?
Last year. I was 24 years old, January. I was diagnosed with stage 3 melanoma.
Now, stage 3. Now, again, just folks may not know how far advanced that is. What does that mean exactly?
Stage 3 means that it's been carried on into my lymph nodes. Stage 4 would be it's gotten into different organs, so it was stage 3. Luckily, I got it before stage 4, but it's still pretty serious. Sure,
it's very serious. And how did it present itself?
Well, it was a mole on my leg, and I actually only noticed it changing because I had a freckle right next to it that was about the same size, and I was like, I thought that was the same size, and I was just like, my body's changing, no big deal. A few months later, my family started saying, that looks pretty bad, go get that checked out. I blew it off. I was like, it's not a big deal. Finally, it got pretty ugly to where I wanted to get rid of it because it was ugly, and when I went in to go get rid of it, I saw the look on the doctor's face and realized it was a lot more serious than it was. And 2 days later, they told me I was diagnosed with stage 3 melanoma, and I was to see the oncologist right away.
So you had that removed and had that treated, but then you've had a recurrence, haven't you?
Yeah, I had multiple surgeries to try to remove as much of it as possible, and then 4 months of chemo. That was March through July, and then back in December it came back, and they cut out what they could, and then I went on an immune therapy sort of treatment, and I just found out about last week or a week and a half ago that it's back, and I'm going to have to do more, we're going to try more extensive surgery to try to cut out as much as possible again, and it's a reoccurring.
Hey, Briana, you know, you're going to be in our thoughts and prayers, absolutely. But I can't think of better spokespersons for this. And Brian, I know as a dad, this is excruciating, but you guys you're doing what you can to try to get the word out there. And you deal with this legislatively, ironically, as well, and probably were dealing with that before you or Briana were diagnosed.
Yeah, I'm actually on the committee of jurisdiction for the FDA, the NIH. I've been big on doing the research. Of course, my involvement with melanoma and skin cancer goes way back because being a lifeguard, being a surfer, they asked me to be a spokesman years ago. And in fact, when Briana was diagnosed, my staff pulled up all the old commercials I used to do on this issue. But it is really critical that we understand that there's a lot of great opportunities out there, but the greatest opportunity is avoiding detection early. And that's where you get frustrating, where the FDA wouldn't approve a device, melanoma device, that could detect these things. Something invented right here in San Diego. We finally raised hell and got them to approve it, and that's out on the market. But you've got to watch for things. Briana's, I saw the mole, and it was irregular. And that sort of set off the alarms that I'd known. But all of the awareness I had in melanoma and skin cancer, I always thought it was going to be myself or my brothers.
Sure.
Never thought it was going to be the next generation.
And that's the word that we want to really get out there today, folks. And you heard Briana explain exactly what she noticed. If you notice a mole that's different from the others, and that's the key, different from the others, and if you see things changing, you need to get in and see a dermatologist immediately. But as you're the national spokespersons here, the ads are going to start appearing all across the country. You two will be in it. You're trying to get to work on prevention and not getting out there in the sun a lot. Now, Briana, you're pretty fair-skinned. Were you out in the sun all the time, active lifestyle and so forth?
Yeah, growing up in San Diego, I was in the pool almost every day. We'd go horseback riding, sailing. We lived blocks away from the beach. I was always in the sun.
Yeah, and that's, we're not going to stop that here in San Diego,
right.
but cover up, wear the sunscreen, and pay attention to the message. Both of you, thank you so much. And Congressman, if you can come back and update us, Briana, you're welcome here anytime. We'll continue to get the word out, I promise you. And again, I promise you, you'll be in our thoughts and prayers. All right, thank you again, both of you, so much. All right.